In today's video, we're going to take all the books in these boxes behind me and list them on Amazon using a third-party software called AccelerList. It's so much easier to use this than to use Amazon Seller Central. So simply today's video is just showing you how to list the books, how to package them up in a box, and then basically how to ship them to an Amazon warehouse. All right, we have quite a bit of stuff to do today. These are all boxes that need to be unpackaged because there's books in them. And I've already taken some out, listed some, and here's some more books that need to be listed. I have my barcode scanner here. I have my Dymo label printer. So the purpose of the Dymo label printer is to print out a label, and that label is what you would then go ahead and put on the back of the barcode right there. As I list them, I'm gonna stack them up here. This is what needs to still be listed. All that stuff needs to be listed. So I'm over here on AccelerList. The first thing that I'd recommend that you do is come down to settings. And if you have a Dymo label printer, I would attach that because the Dymo label printer is going to save so much time when it comes to labeling your products. Otherwise, if you don't have one, you're just going to have to manually label each one from a 30 up label sheet. Obviously doable, and it just takes some time, but I would prefer to use the Dymo label printer. Here you can set it up through Native Print, and they're going to have some steps. Basically, you're going to click on the Dymo or the Zebra, depending on which label writer you have, and then they're going to have you download the software. So I just label tested in my Dymo down below, and you can see that went ahead and that printed out a test product. So the reason why this is so cool is because as soon as you're done listing a product, you literally just take this individual label and you just put it right over the book, and you don't have to look at a 30 up label sheet and try to match every single book. So it's just a lot easier. The second thing that I would do would be to go to the SKU settings. So we're about to make a batch right now, and it's a good idea for you to have specific SKUs for whatever products you're listing. So for me, because I sell books and I tend to sell books that are usually a little bit longer tail, it takes a little bit longer for them to sell. I like to label when I listed the books by the date and the year, so I know kind of how long it's been since these books have been sitting there. So all I did was I added a custom field, and I typed in November batch 2022, and I went ahead and added that there, and that's why it populates here. Now you could do it a different way. You could do it by purchase date, you can do it by expiration date, by cost, whatever you want. You could do there, and then all you have to do is save it over here. So this should be, actually save it down here. There's a green button, you press save, and then now this is going to be populated for my new SKU template. So the next thing that we should do is talk about your condition notes. So to speed up our listing, we want to make sure that we have condition notes that are keyed in so that we can just tap one button and describe the book very easily, and then we can move on. So I have all mine here, and you'll kind of see them as we go through the listing. But basically, for any category of item that you sell, you can, like in this case, select books. You can create a subcategory, assign a nickname to it, and then finally give it its condition note. I know that sounds a little bit confusing right now, but you'll see when we actually go ahead into listing a book. So I've already started my batch, but if you haven't, you'd come up here to create batch. And again, I just named it the same way. So I would just say November batch 2022. I've already created the batch, but this is what I do. Remember how we made that custom template SKU? So I'm going to say yes. This is basically going to identify every single book with this date or with this title, November batch 2022. So down here from shipping from, it's going to ship from my location there, which is saved in my settings. And we're going to send these through FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. I want to label my products. The workflow, I just keep it on private. I know you can put it on live as well, but I've honestly never done that. I've only used private and it's worked fine for me. And then I would just go ahead and create a batch. And once you create a batch, it's going to take you to this area called batch history, and you'll be able to see your current batches open. So you can see that my batch, November batch 2022 is open right now. And you can see I have a couple of products listed in there. We're going to go and list a couple of products. I'll go through kind of my thought process behind how I price the book. I'll also take a look at what I paid for the book. Then we can just finish the whole shipment up, and I can show you how you put them in a box and you send them to Amazon. My barcode scanner is not working currently, but if you did have a barcode scanner, you just scan the ISBN of the book in. Here's the book that we're going to send in. It is a anthropology book. Okay. And basically, if you had a barcode scanner, you would just scan the barcode, but I'm just going to go ahead and type in the ISBN on the back. So that ISBN would be 978-1260-0524-5252. Wait. 978-1-260-052404. Okay, so you can see that this book is coming up right here, this Anthropology, Appreciating Diversity book. Okay, so first thing is we should just go ahead and put in our buy cost. Okay, our buy cost on this book was $9.53. So I bought this book on OfferUp as a part of a deal with some other books, so got a great deal on this book. Now let's just go ahead and look at the price on Amazon. What I like to do for the workflow over here is I like to go ahead and turn on the auto-populate research a new tab for the Amazon page. And what that means is whenever I scan the book in or type the ISBN in, the listing over here on Amazon is going to automatically jump up. So we only paid $9.53 for this. So really, I mean, we could sell it for probably the cheapest this has ever sold for in the last year and still make some money. Right now, you can see the used buy box is $84. And if we take a look at the used price history, like this book generally doesn't go below $50. And there's recorded history of it selling for up to $80 or $90. So probably for this book here, even though there is a newer edition, that newer edition down there looks like it's super expensive still. It's well over 100. I'd probably just match the buy box at 84. And with Be Cool, which is my repricer, I'd probably just set a min and a max. Honestly, because I'm into this book for so cheap, I'd probably set the minimum at like $70 and the maximum maybe at like $85 or $90 because I don't necessarily need to squeeze every dollar out of this book. I'm just going to go and match the buy box. We'll put $84.53. And what you can see here is that there actually are all of the used prices from the merchant offers, the merchant fulfillers, and also all of the FBA offers, including new sellers. So you can see that right now, Amazon is new at 170. They're also very good at 84.53. So I could just click that value to match their price. And there's some other, helpful information here, like the number of sales per quarter, its rank. You could also look at things like the fees that you're going to pay. If this book was restricted for you, you could also try to sell back your book. Although probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably put the ISBN into Bookfinder because I'm sure you could get more from a different company. But this is what I mean about the condition. So this book here, I'd say overall it's in good condition. Like everything in terms of the pages is they're nice and clean, and there's no highlighting or writing or anything like that. So this is a good condition book. So what I would do for my condition is just click good. And then what I would do is come down here to my different categories. So basically I have acceptable, I have good, and then I have a loose leaf. So this is obviously not a loose leaf. I'm not going to use that. This is also not acceptable. So I'm going to use good. And basically I have a couple of different things that I say. So this doesn't have any highlighting or annotations. So I'm going to put free. Free just means it's free of those things. And then it's in good condition, not in very good condition. So clean, crisp pages, free of highlighter and annotation markings. It shows signs of moderate wear to the spine or cover. It may be missing bundled media such as access codes. It ships directly from Amazon, 100% guaranteed. So then what I'm going to do is just add that to the batch. The magic is going to happen. Watch. Add to batch. Listen, I don't know if you can hear that, but that was the Dymo label printer going off. So I just go and grab the actual label right there. It's going to focus. And then that's simply just going to, bam, it's going to go right on the back of the book like that. And super simple. We can go to the next book. All right. So you can see that this was added to our shipment. Now the next book is a exploration. It's a loose leaf, exploration loose leaf. On the back, you can see that there is a barcode. So if I had a barcode scanner that was working, I would just scan it. Unfortunately, mine doesn't work right now. So I'm going to go ahead and have to just manually type this in. 4321 45 like that. Boom. Okay, so you see that the Amazon webpage populates automatically. We can look at some of the used offers here on Amazon. We can look at the Keep a chart. Okay, so the first thing we have to do again is we have to figure out what the heck did we pay for this book. So let me go ahead and look at that. Okay, so I picked this book up on OfferUp for $21.99. Let's go ahead and put in what we think we can sell this book for. Now, what's interesting about this book is that its price for about 5-6 months out of the year is actually around $45-50, and it only sold a few times there. But you can see that this is definitely a book that sells during the textbook season because there's this stereotypical U pattern with the sales rank, or in other words, you see the sales rank get really, really low in January and then in August and September. So this is a book that we want to get in because you can see right here it's November 22nd and January is coming up. So we want to get this in to Amazon as soon as possible. Right now you can see the buy box is 66. To buy this new is 79. So probably what I'll do is just go ahead and match the buy box for this. But again, with my repricer, I'd set a min and a max. So, if we bought this book for a total of $21.99, what would we have to sell it for to break even? Let's see, come down to profit calculator. Break even would be $38. I mean, so obviously we want to make some money. So I would say probably at the minimum, we'd want to sell this for $50, and I'd probably go 50 to 80 in terms of min and max, and then I'll have my repricer just match who's ever in the buy box. But I'll go ahead and just match the buy box right now, 66.06 like that, and you can see if it sells for that, we'll make a $25 profit. Now, this is a loose leaf in good condition. Look to make sure that there wasn't any highlighting or any annotation marking. So I'm just going to go and click the loose leaf here. I'm going to go ahead and press good. So you can see that says clean, crisp pages, show signs of moderate wear, does not include associated media such as access or online codes, does not come with a binder. You'll need to buy one separately, and ships directly from Amazon. And then again, I'm just going to add this to the batch, and then we're going to go and put the label on the back of the barcode. All right, let's go and move on to the next book. So we have administering medications. Again, I'm just going to go and type in the ISBN on the back. Quick tip, guys, as well. A lot of the McGraw-Hill books will have an authentication sticker on the back. If they have them on there, that's great, but you always still want to be checking to make sure your books are not counterfeit. And let's see what's going on with this book. Okay, looks like the lowest used price is $117, or the lowest price in general is $117. Looks like it's a new seller, and this is kind of all over the board. And this is really interesting because for a couple months, Amazon was on the listing for $45, and now it looks like they're off the listing. So it's unclear if they will ever come back on the listing. They could or they could not, but right now the price of this book is pretty inflated. So, I'd probably want to come in and try to sell it for under this, because technically the price right now is more expensive than it should be. So let's see, 113 was, let's see what okay, so there's no prime sellers at all, new or used. So there's even potential for charging more. And you can actually see that in the last January and February, there was a time where this book got up to $140, $150. So maybe I'll shoot for there, and I'll probably just put my repricer at somewhere between like 80 on the min and maybe like 150 max. Okay, so the buy cost on this was $15.08, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a price of $149.99. But again, I'll set my repricer to go between probably like 75 or 80 on the min price, and then 150 on the max price. Basically, the rule is just to compete for the buy box. So that's what my repricer is going to do. This looks like it's in pretty good condition. I mean, you can't see this, but basically there's no writing in this book. It looks like it's in actually great condition. There's a little bit of marking on the bottom of the pages. I'm sure you can see that. So pretty much everything except for that is great. So I'm actually going to put this as good, because literally everything else of this book is really fresh, really crispy, really nice. It's just that bottom part is not the greatest. So I'm just going to say good, free, moderate, because there isn't any highlighter annotation markings. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add that to the batch. Now we're going to have our Dymo label printer print us out a label. And again, all we're going to do is take that label here and we're just going to stick it right on the back there. Okay. Maybe let's do a couple more books, and then I'll just do the rest on my own, because I think you get the point. The whole point of this video is to show you how to use AccelerList and how easy it is to use, how much better it is than using Amazon Seller Central. Once I get a complete shipment together, I'll actually show you the process of like how I box them up, and then how we send the information from AccelerList to Amazon Seller Central so that we can print out our shipping labels and then drop the boxes off at UPS. All right, the next book is this human relations book. And you'll notice that all these loose leaf copies, that they're all in these poly bags. So basically, whenever I have a loose leaf, I want to put in a poly bag because I want to make sure that all of the pages stay together. Otherwise, if you just put a rubber band around them, usually that damages the pages. It's just a nice way to make it look appealing. Okay, so let's go ahead and type in the ISBN of this book, 978-1260-140-156. Let's pull up the page here. So it looks like I actually have sold this book before to FB December batch 7. So I'm going to actually list with a new SKU though. Here's a rental copy for $75. Looks like you could buy it new for $99 plus shipping. I don't think that's prime though. Let's look at the prime offers. It's like $94, $98. So, and then $300 from Amazon. So crazy. Amazon shot up in price to $318. That's pretty interesting. Buy cost was $24.18. Okay. Now, what could we sell this book for? What's really interesting is actually in September and October, this book went down to $7.98. And you can see probably what happened is there's a repricing war that happened in this 15-day period, and the price went all the way down to $7. And then you can see after those sold out, basically the price went right back up. So I didn't have a tracker set for this, but this is something that if this happens in the future, I want to be notified. So I'm gonna actually get to track this for $10 used. And so that way I'll get notified if that ever happens again. But that would have been a great arbitrage opportunity for sure. What I'm gonna do is just go and match the buy box at 90, 94. And the reason why I'm gonna do that is, one, that's basically the lowest FBA price right now. There's really not much higher I could probably go anyways. And then also, textbook season's right around the corner here. So it's likely that we'll be able to sell it if we list it at that price. So I'm just going to match the buy box at 94.47. And yeah, we'll just go from there. This is good condition. It's a loose leaf, and let's just add it to the batch. We're going to get this label printed out for us, just like all the other books. So you can see here's the label, and that label I'm just going to go ahead and stick on the back of the barcode just like that. Okay, the final book that we're going to list today is actually a book that's already made an appearance in one of my other videos, in the laundry room. And if you know what I'm talking about, I basically was doing laundry and I walked into the laundry room and this was sitting there. So this is a really cool stickers book, and we're gonna see how much money I can sell it for. Basically, I got it for free. So let's just go ahead and let's type this in. Type in ISBN 978-0789-320-810. Now, the interesting thing about this book is actually on the back, the retail value is only $35, but obviously the lowest used price is not $35. And let's go and take a look at the graph. Okay, so this is an interesting book because it definitely doesn't doesn't sell a lot, but it definitely does sell. And when it has sold, it's sold for a quite significant amount of money. So we have one drop here at 111. This drop here looks like it was at 159. We have two drops around 70. We have another one around 60, and then one at 30, couple more at 30, one at 44, and now the price has jumped back up to 90. We go a little bit further back into time, we see that there's a lot of drops around the $28, $30 mark. So what am I going to list this book at? Well, I got it for free, so that's great. I would say, the upper bound of what you can sell this for is probably at this $96. Like, there is data to show it sold for a little bit more than that, but not a lot. What I would say is look at when the book was selling most frequently. And that was when the price was much lower, around the $30 mark. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably put mine at like $65, because I think $65 would be reasonable considering the prices right now. And with my repricer, I'll probably set it to I'll probably set the min to about 35, and I'll put my max at 65. So basically, I'm just going to compete for the buy box between there. So I'm going to put 65. Buy cost was 0. Let's go. $45. If this book sells, I literally got free laundry for a year. So that's great. It's in good condition. And this doesn't really have highlight or annotation markings in it, because it's a book with just stickers. I guess there are some words, so I can actually leave that there. And let's just go and add that to the batch. Okay, you can see that over here on the Accelerlist. It says the weight of these 16 products is 33 pounds. Generally, I found that the Amazon listings are a little bit off when it comes to having the exact weights of all the books. So I have all my shipment ready to go. Basically, what I now need to do is get all this information over to Amazon. I'm going to show you how simple that is. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is preview the shipment plan. And this is going to tell us where they want us to send our books, or where they want us to send our products. Here you can see that they want us to send to FBA in whatever place this is. And all I'm going to do is say create shipment and complete the batch. And this says, are you sure? The action cannot be undone. Are you sure you want to create the shipment and complete the batch? I'm going to say yes. And then what's going to happen is all of this data is going to be sent over to Amazon. So you can see that it now says this has been completed. Then once you're over here on Amazon, what you can do to find the shipment is you can just go over to the top left. You can scroll down to where you see inventory, and then you can come down to where you see shipments. And you'll see that our batch of 13 SKUs and 16 units is now working, and we can click work on shipment. And once we're here, you can see that it's going to tell us where we're shipping our books from, which is my apartment. And you can also see where we're shipping the books to. So it looks like we're shipping to Phoenix, Arizona, which is pretty close to me. I'm going to ship my books with a small parcel delivery. In other words, not an LTL, right? Because we're only doing individual boxes. We're doing really small boxes. And the shipping mode, we're just going to do the Amazon partnered carrier, which is UPS. So now we're going to go down to the box content information. And by the way, you could also review and modify your units here. So let's say you didn't actually want to send one of these items. You can press the little X button here, and that would remove it from the shipment if you wanted to. Also, I mentioned in the beginning that if you don't have a Dymo label printer and you have a 30 up label sheet and you need to print labels, this is where you can print those labels here. You can see it says print labels to this page, and then you can go and put those on the back of the book. Now I'm going to come down to box content information. I personally never learned how to do the box content information. I just felt like it wasn't ever worth my time. But as a result, I do get charged a 30-cent per item fee for not providing box content information. So, you could try to figure out how to do it, but I'm not sure how to do it. And if someone wants to teach me, feel free to. But for right now, I just feel like saving the time is better for me. I'm going to go ahead and only have one box, the number of boxes to 1. And then all I need to do now is input the box weight and the box dimensions. And to do that, I'm just going to use a measuring tape, and I'm also going to use a shipping scale. It looks like this. I'm just going to use a medium box that I have lying around. It's probably going to be too big. I'm going to have to cut it down with a box cutter, but basically all you need to do is put all the books in there and package it nice and safely. Okay, you can see that I have all the books that I've listed here, and you can see that the weight right now is about 46 pounds. So I'm going to stop right now and just finish up the shipment just so I can show you how I go about boxing it and printing off the box labels and all that stuff. If you didn't know, you're only allowed to go up to 50 pounds per box. If you go above 50 pounds, you're actually gonna get a notice from Amazon, and Amazon's gonna yell at you and say, hey, don't ever send us a box that's over 50 pounds. And that's understandable. They don't want their workers carrying heavy boxes. So I generally stop around 46 pounds, and then with packing material in the boxes, usually gets up to 48, and it just gives me a couple pounds of cushion room. But yeah, you wanna make sure you stay under 50 pounds. Okay, you can see that I've built the box, basically just put it together and put tape all along the edges just to make sure that it's nice and protected. Like I mentioned, my box is way too big, so I definitely recommend trying to get a smaller box. You can see there's a lot of empty space here. What I'm gonna do is just use a box cutter to cut the edges all the way down, and then I'll fold the flaps over. There's still gonna be a lot of empty space here and there. So I'm gonna pack that really tightly with some packing tape. You can see that each side is now scored. You could actually use a box resizer on Amazon if you want. It's not really necessary, so you don't need it. As long as you just have a razor like that will do perfect. And all we have to do is now just fold this over like this on each side. But again, I need to put packing tape on this side, and even on this side, just to make sure that everything's nice and secure. Okay, you can see that it's nicely packed up. We'll just box it up and then we'll go ahead and print out the box labels. Everything's now in the box, packaged and taped up. So we just need length, width, height, and also the weight. So it looks like this box is about 16 inches across. It's going to be about 17 inches wide. It'll be about 9 inches. So we're going to say 16 by 17. Okay, so let's input that information here. We're going to be 50 pounds, 16 by 17 by 9. Now have this yellow button that says calculate for shipping. So we're going to go and click calculate. And now it's going to tell us what the shipping cost will be. So $12.41. So think about how good of a shipping price that is. I have a 50-pound box being shipped to Arizona, which is one state away, and it only cost me $12.41. For all my eBay sellers out there, you ship something that's over a pound and it's almost $12. So it's a great deal. I'm going to go ahead and click the accept charges button. Then it asks me for the paper type. I'm just going to print this out with the black rectangle label. And the ship date, I'm going to go ahead and ship this tomorrow on Tuesday. So I'm going to click that. And then you can see that this says print box labels. I'm going to go ahead and click that yellow button. You can see that this information gets downloaded here. I can just right click print and I'm going to go ahead and print this out. All that's left to do is to cut out the labels, tape them on the box. And then once we're done, come over here, complete the shipment. Okay, I went ahead and I printed out the box labels here. I'm just going to tape them on the box. Now, one tip is that if you are sending a box, generally where the two folds come together right here in the middle, you definitely don't want to have any of your labels over that, because if you do, then Amazon can slit right through it. And if they do, it's going to be harder for them to know whose box this is. Now, because I had to resize my box, I don't have that, but I'm just going to go ahead and tape them both on here. And then all we got to do is drop it off at UPS, and literally that's it. Now the books are on their way to the Amazon FBA warehouse, and whenever items do get checked in and they're available for sale, then we'll get a paycheck when someone actually buys it. The other option, if you don't actually want to go drop your books off at UPS, you can actually come to a website called pirateship.com. You do need to make an account, but once you're there, you can go ahead and click the schedule pickup. At the top right, you can click request pickup and select UPS. And here you're basically just going to tell them where the location they're picking the boxes up from, basically when they're going to pick it up, the earliest time they can come, where they can expect to find the boxes, and then sort of the specific type of UPS shipping service, which would be UPS ground. And you can type that's a package, United States. You tell them how many packages you have, and then the total weight. Now, you will be billed $4 for this, but in my opinion, completely worth it if you have a lot of other stuff to do, because as they say, time is money and money is time. So this could be completely worth it. You just leave these on your front porch, they come pick it up, and that's it. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the tutorial of how to send books to Amazon through AccelerList. If you enjoyed the video and you want more content, all you got to do is this.